Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. Let's dive into English literature, and my name is Vaishali Rathod. Today we will solve GSET 2024 paper 2 English literature. Okay, so let's begin. So we have first question on our screen. Okay, now question we have, which among the following poems has been hailed as a semi-wasteland? Okay, so we all know that Semi-Wasteland is a work written by T.S. Eliot. Okay, it's a modern poem by T.S. Eliot. Now, the question is, which are the qualities that are there in this work that it has some major similarities? Okay, so in these poems, all these poems were written by Matthew Arnold. Dover Beach, Thyrsis, Empedocles on Etna, and the Scholar Gypsy. Okay, this all works written by Matthew Arnold. But which are the qualities that is there in Wasteland? So we all know that in Wasteland, T.S. Eliot has shown landscape of World War I society, that how human beings they felt, how their psyche became, how they are not able to connect themselves with society, with human beings, how they feel that they are not part of this society. Okay, that humanity was missing somewhere. Okay, and in search of some meaning for their life, that characters they are searching for something. Okay, because they lost something within. So that is some cultural decay kind of things were there in that poem. So in this poem, the Dover Beach, written by Matthew Arnold, some of the similar uh, qualities were there in this poem. Why it is so? Because in this poem, the conflict between science and religion during Victorian era was there, because earlier people were following the Christian belief, and now they have some new kind of theory. हम सबको पता है that Charles Darwin, okay, he has given theory of evolution that came. Okay, and in that Charles Darwin's work on the origin of species that he has written in 1850. Okay, so that belief was shaken. Okay, so it has some similarity with the modern age, some similarity with his work by Eliot. Okay, because in this poem Wasteland, हम देखते हैं कि speaker is there, and he is the someone who's same that we have seen in the Wasteland also. Okay, something was missing, कि वो क्या कर रहा है, वो जो भी धाराएं बह रही है उनको देख रहा है, पत्थर से वो कैसे टकराई, and the way author has compared the thing with nature. Okay, that same expression of alienation was there in Dover Beach also. Okay, the doubt that the speaker has about his life, के अभी क्या होगा. ओके, वर्ल्ड वॉर का थोड़ा एटमॉस्फेयर जैसा जो भय का माहौल होता है, दैट इज़ देयर इन माइंड ऑफ दैट स्पीकर ऑल्सो. ओके, सो Dover Beach has similarity with T.S. Eliot's Wasteland. Okay, so Dover Beach is the correct answer that we have. It is hailed as a semi wasteland. We'll go by the next question. Okay. Now, who among the following American poets is known for his use of antithesis? Now, what is antithesis? Antithesis could be seen as a sentence of contrasting meaning. जैसे कि Charles Dickens, he has written a work called Tale of Two Cities. Tale of Two Cities. Okay, and in that work, okay, the opening line that we have, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, it was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness, and this line was frequently asked in previous year net exams, as well as there in set exams also. Okay, so where two sentences, either it is there in phrase, either it is there in some paragraph or there in novel. Okay, जब दो सेंटेंस okay या फिर एक फ्रेज में दो आइडियाज कॉन्ट्रास्ट, दैट इज़ व्हाट एंटीथेसिस इज ऑल अबाउट. जैसे कि हम कहते हैं कि स्पीच इज सिल्वर बट साइलेंस इज गोल्ड. दो आइडियाज़ ली, ओके, कि स्पीच को हमने सिल्वर कहा है, कि सिल्वर है, ओके, बट साइलेंस क्या है, साइलेंस इज गोल्ड. सो दो आइडियाज़ लिए, कॉन्ट्रास्ट हो रहे हैं. ओके, जैसे कि हम कहते हैं कि होप फॉर द बेस्ट, प्रिपेयर फॉर द वर्स्ट. ओके, सो ये क्या है, सो दिस आर द एग्जाम्पल ऑफ एंटीथेसिस and how it has antithesis has started. These are very normal sentences that we use in our daily lives, just like कि नील आर्मस्ट्रॉन्ग ने जैसे ही मून पे लैंड किया एंड पाँव रखा when he तो what he in his interview what he said, like that's one little stride for a man and one big leap for a mankind. So वो क्या है, वो एंटीथेसिस है. ओके, so here the question is, who among the following American poets is known for the use of antithesis? कि किसने सबसे ज़्यादा यूज़ किए हैं एंटीथेसिस को. ओके, so the answer that we have is Emily Dickinson. She is master of antithesis. In her works, she has used it again and again. Just like I'll give you an example of it. Now we all know that Emily Dickinson has written a poem called Because I Could Not Stop for Death. In that poem, Because I Could Not Stop for Death, she has written since then it's centuries, and yet feels shorter than the day. Okay, now see this line. What does it mean? It means that though she has been in her grave for centuries, okay, but she feels that this whole time was less than a day. She wants to indicate that sense of time is lost, okay, when you die. Okay, so because it is eternity where time never ends. So this kind of antithesis that she has used in her books. So the correct answer that we have is Emily Dickinson. Okay, we'll go by the next question here. Okay, so we have third question here. Now, who among the following French poets wrote the poem Strange Meeting? Okay, so this poem is not written by Robert Brooke, not Isaac Rosenberg, okay, not Siegfried Sassoon. It is written by Wilfred Owen, okay. Now this poem was written in 1918 and published after poet's death in 1990, and this is very beautiful poem that deals with the atrocities of World War One, okay. And uh, just like this poem is narrated by a soldier, okay, that how he turns to the underworld just to escape the horror of World War One, okay, and how after joining that World War he met a soldier whom he has killed earlier, okay, and this is how this strange meeting title was taken, okay. It it basically it basically exposes the horror of World War, okay, that is there, and how author wants to carry the moral message about bringing the peace and sanity to a world ravaged by war, okay. We'll go by the next question here. If we see this other writers, just like we have a Robert Brooke or this Isaac Rosenberg, okay, or just Siegfried Sassoon, they have not written this kind of work, okay. We'll go by the next question here. Question number 4. The animal imagery is profusely found in the poetry of, so in Philip Larkin, no. Carolyn Duffy, no. In Seamus Heaney, no. It is there in Ted Hughes, okay, that how he has connected the human beings with the animals, okay, and how certain examples that he has used, okay, just to compare human beings with the animal, and how he has considered that human beings are more greater than the sorry, how animals are far better than the human beings. And his major works, okay, that he has written, the Hawking, the Hawk in the Rain, very famous one, in 1957, okay. Then he wrote Faber and Faber, Crow, very famous work by him, okay. He has also written Iron Man, very famous one, okay, just after death of uh, her wife Sylvia Plath, for his children. He has also written a work called, is famous for the Jaguar. So whatever he has written, he has used animals, okay, as a major symbol, as a character, okay, and how he has talked behalf of animals, okay. So Ted Hughes is the correct answer that we have, because if we talk about this writer Philip Larkin, so he has written serious and grave life type poetry, where he has discussed the fear of death, okay, just like the North Shape that he wrote. He has also written two novels like Jill, A Girl in the Winter, okay, and his famous for his collection of poem The Less Deceived, okay. And if we talk about this one, Carol Ann Duffy. So Carol Ann Duffy is England's first female, okay, and first Scottish and first LGBT poet laureate, okay. He is famous for his work like Sailing Mahattam, Meantime, Rapture, okay, and this one, Seamus Heaney. So we know that he is a 1995 Nobel awardee. Okay, so he was a famous for his play plays that he has written. He is famous for his translation of Beowulf that he did. Okay, so the animal imagery found in poetry of Ted Hughes. Okay, we'll go by the next question here. We'll go by question number 5. The character of Madame Sosotries appears in. So she is a very famous character that is there in T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland. The Wasteland, written in 1921 and published in 1922. Frequently asked question. Okay, so this Madame Sosotries is she's a tarot card reader. Okay, वो मेले में वो क्या करती है, वो कार्ड्स को पिक करती है और फ्यूचर दिखाती है सबको. Okay, so in this The Wasteland we have a section, the burial of the dead. She was there in that section. Okay, so Madame Sosotries, she is a gypsy. Okay, and who she tells fortunes at a fair. Okay, we'll go by the next question. Question number 6. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Now, who among the following romantic poets said this? So, it is not said by Shelley, it is not by Byron, and for sure not by Taylor. Okay, so this lines were said by John Keats. Okay, now John Keats, he has written a work called A Thing of Beauty. Okay, so in that he has said that how, but he is talking about the beauty of nature. Okay, about the joy and relief that a person can feel, okay, when he is there and he feels connected to the nature. That if what Keats has said, that if human soul is there in the suffering, it is only nature that can give that kind of relief to that psyche, to the body, to the soul also. That is what he has said. He said it like कि beautiful object जो होते हैं, that natural, okay, that can makes a person happy for a very long time. Okay, even it's, and not only in terms of nature, also in terms of beauty. Okay, that even if it fades away, it is a source of enjoyment, it is a source of happiness for a person for a very long time. And जब कीट्स ने written Endymion, okay, so in that work also he has said a thing of beauty is joy forever. Okay, because according to the poet, beautiful things gives us eternal happiness. Okay, so that is the answer that we have is John Keats. Okay, we'll go by the next question here. Okay, question number 7. Oh sir, she smiled oh sir, she smiled no doubt whenever I passed her, but who passed without much the same smile? These lines found in the poem. Okay, so the the confusion is between My Last Duchess and Porphyria's Lover. This could not be the answer. Okay, So the correct answer that we have is My Last Duchess. Okay, now this My Last Duchess is a poem written by Robert Browning. Okay, and it is part of Browning's collection Dramatic Lyrics. And it is published in 1842. Okay, so the more the Duke of Ferrara that he's talking about his Duchess, the more he's revealing about himself, that how he has killed his ex-wife. Okay, that how he's revealing that how he's a psycho. Okay, because this poem is based on a real life Duke Alfonso. Okay, he was there in Italy. कैसे वो मैसेंजर आता है, कैसे वो पेंटिंग देखता है और कैसे क्वेश्चन करता है और वो कैसे नरेट करता है अपनी वाइफ के बारे में कि वो कैसी थी, वो कैसे बातें करती थी. ओके, वो उसका उसकी ब्यूटी कैसी थी. ओके, वो चलती कैसे थी, वो लोगों से बात कैसे करती थी. ओके, सो जितना ज़्यादा वो बताता जाता है अपनी वाइफ के बारे में, वो अपने आप को रिवील करता है कि वो कैसा साइको था, वो कैसे बिहेव करता था, उसके ओपिनियंस क्या है उसकी वाइफ के बारे में. ओके, एंड द ऑडियंस केम टू नो दैट द ड्यूक ऑफ Ferrara was he himself has killed his wife Lucrezia de Medici. Okay, so the correct answer that we have is My Last Duchess. Okay, we'll go by the next question. Sorry, and in this line, like, oh sir, she smiled, no doubt, whenever I passed her, but who passed without much the same smile. कि कैसे उसका नेचर था ऐसा एकदम कि वो हमेशा हंसते रहती थी. ओके, पर द प्रॉब्लम दैट द स्पीकर हैज़ कि वो सबको देखकर ऐसे स्माइल देती थी. इट इज़ नॉट स्पेशल फॉर हिम. ओके, वो रिवील करता है कि वो बहुत खुश मिजाजी थी, वो हंसती रहती थी, सबको स्माइल देती थी, पर वो सबको क्यों देती थी ऐसा. ओके, विल गो बाय द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. क्वेश्चन नंबर 8. हु रोट द अनफिनिश्ड एपिक पोएम Hyperion? So this Hyperion is a poem written by John Keats. Okay, it was written in 1820. Then what does it mean? Hyperion is a god of sun. So the full title that we have is The Fall of Hyperion, a Dream, 1856. Okay, and it talks about this Hyperion poem. It talks about fall of Titans. Okay, to the Olympians. We'll go by the next question. Question number 9. Who wrote the lines, I speak 3 languages, write in 2 and dream in 1. Now, this line was said by Kamala Das. Now, Kamala Das, she is a very famous poet. Now, she born as a Kamala Suraiya. Okay, she married to Hindu and she became Kamala Das. And she has a pen name Madhavi Kutti. Okay, so not only about language, but she has 3 names also. Okay, just like, okay, and in this quote she is talking about her facility with three languages. Okay, because she can speak Malayalam also, English also, Hindi also, and Bengali also. Okay, she always she has an opinion like we can write in any language that we wanted to. Okay, just like she said, uh, let me allow to write in any language that I wanted to. Okay, like why we always say like if you are in English poet, then you have to write only in English language. Why he or she cannot write in some other languages like Hindi, okay, Gujarati, or some other language that they wanted to? So let us write in any language that we wanted to. So her plea for writer's choice of linguistic medium, okay, that she said like uh, the language I speak becomes mine. Okay, so her urge to write in any language that she wanted to, that she has expressed in her works. That is what she said, that though she knows other languages also, but she's writing about humanity, okay, that will express the universal things. Okay, so this language barrier will not work for her. Okay, we'll go by the next question. Question number 10. How many verses are there in Rabindranath Tagore's Gitanjali, Songs of Offering? Okay, very famous work. So here the options that we have given, these are wrong options, because originally it has 157 poems. Now this Songs of Offerings, we all know that for this collection of poems, Tagore has received uh, Nobel Prize 1930. So this Gitanjali Tagore has written in 1910. Okay, 1910 he has written it. Okay, then he has translated it as a Songs of Offering. Okay, and this receives 1913 Nobel Prize. Okay, and W.B. Yeats, he has added intro of this Songs of Offering. Okay, we'll go by the next question. Question number 11. In Hamlet, who among the following characters does not die? So it is a tragedy written by Shakespeare. So Ophelia, option A. So we know that Ophelia, that she commits suicide, okay, by drowning herself in some river. Ophelia dies. So Ophelia आंसर नहीं हो सकती. Then we have Claudius. So we know that he drinks some poisonous drink, okay, and he was also stabbed by Hamlet. So he also dies. Now see this option D, Laertes. So he also dies. How? He dies on stage, stabbed by his own poison blade. Okay. So this option number C, Horatio, he does not die. Okay, he does not die in this uh, tragedy Hamlet. Horatio, as well as young Fortinbras, these two characters are alive. by the end of that tragedy, Hamlet. Okay. Other than that, other characters all dies. Out of 11, 9 characters died because when the tragedy begins, King Hamlet, he was poisoned. Okay, so he dies. Polonius, he also dies. Okay, because Hamlet has stabbed him mistakenly. Okay, so Polonius dies. Ophelia commits suicide. Now Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, they also executed on Hamlet's order, so they both died. And Leatus, he also dies by his own poison blade. That's what. Okay, now Gertrude, by drinking that drink, poisonous drink by Claudius, so she also dies. Okay, Claudius also dies by drinking that poisonous drink and stabbed by Hamlet. And Prince Hamlet, he also dies. Okay, by that poisonous blade. Okay, so this Horatio, okay, and young Fortibras, only they are the living character by the end of this tragedy. We'll go by the next question. Question number 12. Now, who's the protagonist in the Jew of Malta? So, we all know that Barabbas is the protagonist in Jew of Malta. Okay, because Shylock is there in Merchant of the Venice, and this Marlowe is a narrator in Conrad's novel, like Lord Jim, okay, Heart of Darkness, some of the short story that he has written, like Youth. So, and Rosencrantz is a character that we have. It is there in Hamlet as well as in play by Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Okay, so the correct answer that we have is Barabbas. We'll go by the next question. Question number 13. The green world in A Midsummer's Night's Dream symbolizes. So, the Midsummer Night's Dream, okay, it's a comedy written by Shakespeare, okay, and it revolves around the marriage of Theseus and Hippolyta, okay. So, this green world symbolize rebirth and renewal because it's comedy. So, this kind of things will not there. This could be, okay, magic could be there. The correct answer that we have is B, rebirth and renewal. We'll go by the next question. The senior lady who's satirized in The Way of the World by William Congreve is, so Way of the World, very famous work and must read work for net. So now Millamant, she is a very beautiful, rich, fashionable character, okay. She is not the old lady, okay. Now Mrs. Marwood. Mrs. Marwood is a mistress of Mr. Fennel and loves Mirabelle, okay. So Mrs. Marwood is not there. Now we'll go by Mrs. Fennel. So Mrs. Fennel, her name is Arabella Fennel, okay. She is a Lady Wishfort's daughter, and herself has once had an affair with Mirabelle. So the correct answer that we have is Lady Wishfort. She is shown as a very silly woman, okay, who tries to act younger than she actually is, okay. So the correct answer that we have is Lady Wishfort. She was satirized, okay. We'll go by the next question. Now, question number 15. John Dryden's All for Love is. So, All for Love is a heroic tragedy. Okay. Now, what is heroic tragedy? So, it has some heroic deeds were shown by the author like an epic, like everything is grand, okay, like themes of love, honor, okay. एक हीरो होता है वो अपनी कंट्री के लिए जस्ट लाइक बी वुल्फ के ऑनर कंट्री के ऑनर के लिए लड़ता है टू सेव द कॉमन पीपल, ओके. We'll go by the next question. Question number 16. Richard Brinsley Sheridan's The School for Scandal has its protagonist. So, protagonist of School for Scandal, Sir Peter Teasel. Okay, so he believed he's a kind of character that he believes that he's always right. Okay, he's an old man. Okay, and it is shown like that he has married before this play begins. Okay, 7 months before this play begin. Okay, and he has adopted children. His guardian to Maria, Charles, Surface and Joseph. Okay, so here's not the answer. Now Joseph Surface, as we have seen, adopted child of this one Sir Peter Teasel. So his brother of hero. He is a very selfish kind of person that is shown in this work. Now this Sir Oliver Surface, he is a wealthy uncle of this children, Joseph and Charles. Okay, so the correct answer that we have is Charles Surface. Okay, he is a younger brother. He is a good-hearted man. He is a very loyal, and he feel for Maria. Okay, this one, option D is the correct answer. We will go by the next question, and this is basically comedy of manners. Written by whom? Written by Richard Brinsley Sheridan, and it was first performed in 1777. Okay, we'll go by the next question here. Question number 17. The witty dialogue in The Importance of Being Earnest primarily serves to A. Develop the plot, B. Critique social norms, C. Explore moral dilemmas, and D. Build suspense. So, this work is written by Oscar Wilde. Okay, first performed in 1895. Very famous one. Frequently asked question were there from this work. Okay, so this is critique social norm is the correct answer that we have. Why? Because Wilde has given commentary on marriage, like marriage among the upper classes. Okay, so this one in the correct answer, critique social norms. We'll go by the next question. Question number 18. The Birthday Party by Harold Pinter is best described as. So, earlier this play was described as the best example of the theatre of absurd. The Theatre of Absurd by Martin Astley. Martin Astley. Okay, but later they have critique. They have said it comedy of menace. Now this comedy of menace, this term was coined by Irving Waddell. Okay, when he has written his play, he has coined that term in that work. So Irving Waddell has coined this term, but he has borrowed that term, okay, from subtitle of Compton's play, The Lunatic View, a Comedy of Menace. I'll write somewhere. Wait. the lunatic view, the comedy of Venus. Okay, Campton's play. नाउ इस कॉमेडी ऑफ मेनिस जो है, इसमें होता क्या है? इट्स लाइक इट यूजेस एवरीडे लाइफ, नेचुरल सेटिंग, सॉरी नॉर्मल सेटिंग्स, ओके, नॉर्मल एटमोसफियर, ओके, बट इट्स लाइक जैसे कि नॉर्मल इन दिस प्ले ऑल्सो बर्थडे पार्टी एक नॉर्मल घर का सेटिंग है, ओके, जिसमें बर्थडे पार्टी का अरेंजमेंट है, बर्थडे पार्टी चल रही है. अचानक two suspicious people they enter in this home, okay, और सब तहस नहस कर देते हैं. So this kind of things were there in this kind of work, comedy of menace. Okay, एक सुंदर सा सीसाइड सा होम है, okay, and where birthday party is arranged, okay, and when two strangers that they came, something worse that has happened. Okay, we'll go by the next question. Now question number 19, Carol Churchill's The Top Girls has so an all male cast, no, a mix of historical and fictional female character, we'll see this, a traditional family structure, a capitalist social structure. So the correct answer that we have is B, a mix of historical and a fictional female characters, okay, because it has all female characters. It is 1982 play, okay, okay, and it centers on Marlene, N-E-R, Marlene, okay, a career-driven women she is. And this play is all about, it examines like the roles available to women in old society and what it means or takes for a woman to succeed, okay, because in this play female characters, okay, there, that how Marlene she meets them, okay, how she called them for a dinner table and how they have a this dinner conversation, okay, and how she tries to share her own experiences with this ladies, just like Pop John was there, Dulgreet, Lady Nijo, Patient Cresilda was there, Isabella Bird was there, okay. So the correct answer that we have is a mix of historical and female and a fictional female characters. We'll go by the next question. The Crucible is an allegory for the historical event of, so the McCarthy trial is the correct answer that we have. And now this Crucible is a play, okay, 1953, written by Arthur Miller, okay. It's story of Sabam which trial took place in Massachusetts like in 1692, in 1693, okay. So the correct answer that we have is the McCarthy trial. We'll go by the next question. Question number 21, which critic commented about Pip's progress in Great Expectation as a Snopes progress, okay. So it is by Humphrey House, okay. We'll go by the next question. question number 22. The epigraph of Thomas Hardy's Tess of the D'Urberville is derived from, okay, so what is epigraph first of all? What is it? So epigraph is something like a short quote or saying at the beginning of any book, any chapter, okay. Its major aim is to suggest some theme, just like it is there in Anna Karenina also, okay, that all happy families are alike, an unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. So it suggests like ki, this play talks something about family, okay, just like in Tale of Two Cities. At the beginning of that work, author has the epigraph is there. What is it? It is the best of time, worst of time. Okay, so it's something talks about time that the author has discussed in that book. Either author has taken that epigraph from somewhere, or he or she has written it by himself. Okay, so the epigraph of Hardy's Tess of the D'Urberville has taken from The Two Gentlemen of Verona. Okay, we'll go by the next question. Question number 23. The famous bee and a spider allegory is depicted in. Okay, so it is there in the syllabus of BA and MA. Okay, so it is there in the Battle of Books. As we know that it is a short satire written by Jonathan Swift. So that battle is there. Battle किसके बीच का है? Battle is there between books. That battle in King's Library. Just like in this book, B is considered to be whom? B is the ancient. Okay, just like the ancient authors. Okay, they gather their materials. Okay, like from nature. Okay, like from some myth. Okay, and they sung it. And here the spider is considered to be modern. Okay, modern critique, that it kills the weak one and then it spines its web. Okay, so the correct answer, The Battle of the Book by Jonathan Swift, where we have this bee and spider allegory. We'll go by the next question. Question number 24. Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and Adventure of Tom Sawyer are novels cast in the, so it is cast in picaresque mode. Now what is this picaresque mode? So this kind of work, it focuses on a rock character. Okay, just like we have the guide there, Raju's character was shown कि कैसे वो एक बहुत अच्छा इंसान नहीं होता है, बट उसकी जर्नी उसको बहुत अच्छा इंसान बनाती है. That he was not saint, but by the end of this novel, he becomes that saint by fasting. Okay, so just like in this Huckleberry Finn and Adventure of Tom Sawyer, written by Mark Twain, they this character, their journey was shown. Just like we have a character of Huck, we have character of Jim. They run away from slavery system. Okay, and their adventure was shown. Okay, now this Huckleberry Finn, it is written in 1884, and this the adventures of Tom Sawyer, it is written in 1876. It is in 1876. Okay, so this book written, this is sequel to this novel. Okay, first this written, then second this one. Okay, sequel में क्यों लिखी जाती है? क्योंकि जो फर्स्ट नॉवल की जो स्टोरी है वो सेकेंड में वो कंटिन्यू की जाए. ओके, विल गो बाय द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Question number 25. Sir Walter Scott wrote, her characters are absolutely true to life and all her work has the perfection of miniature painting. Who's she? Okay, so she is talking about female writer, okay, whom he has admired, okay, for her writing. So he has said it about Jane Austen, okay, because he's a fan of Jane Austen, and he has read whatever Austen has written, like for twice, thrice, okay. He praise him, he praise her a lot. So these lines were devoted to Jane Austen. We'll go by the next question. Question number 26. John Ruskin's ornate prose style was followed by. So, John Ruskin's prose style was followed by Walter Peter. Okay, it is not by Oscar Wilde, not by George Eliot, not by Emily Bronte, it is by Walter Peter. We'll go by the next question. Question number 27. The Children of the Sea, published in USA, is alternatively titled as. So, alternatively it is titled as The Niger of Narcissus. Okay, and this is written in 1896. Okay, it is based on his own journey that he has taken from Bombay to London. It is he has started it as a short story, but it became novella. Okay, now earlier this was the title, The Niger of Narcissus, but the publisher, they thought like no one will be interested in reading about black men. Okay, so they have changed the title. No one will buy this book if they add this as a title, so they've changed the title. We'll go by the next question. Question number 28. Women in Love is a sequel to. As I told, what is sequel? कोई एक वर्क लिखा हुआ है, उसकी स्टोरी अगर दूसरे वर्क में इफ ऑथर इज कंटिन्यूइंग तो वो सीक्वल में. सो सेम विथ सीक्वल प्रीक्वल भी होता है. ओके, जस्ट लाइक Jane Austen. In Jane Austen, okay, has written some novel, okay, and The White Sargassoti, written by Jean Rhys as a prequel to that novel, where Bertha Mason's life was shown, that how she was. Okay, so Women in Love is a sequel to The Rainbow. Okay, because it this work covers either it is there in Women in Love or The Rainbow. It covers lives of three generations of Brangwyn family. Their beginning, okay, with it begins with Lydia, then continues by Tom, and it ends with Ursula, Will, and Anna's daughter. Okay, we'll go by the next question. Question number 29. Which of the following novels is written by Doris Lessing? So, this The Little Stranger, it is not written by Doris Lessing. It is written by Sarah Waters. The Sea is a work written by Irish Murdoch. By Irish Murdoch. Okay. So this, The Golden Notebook, is written by whom? By Doris Lessing. Okay. So the correct answer that we have is B. Okay. And this, The Fig Tree, is written by whom? Written by Goran Vojnovic. Okay, we'll go by the next question here. Question number 30. The Voyage of Captain Popanila is based on Jonathan Swift's Gulliver Travels. Now identify the author. Okay, so this The Voyage of Captain Popanila is a second novel. Now Popanila is a character. So identify the author. So the author that we have is Benjamin Disraeli. Okay, we'll go by the next question. Question number 31. Hagiography is centered around the lives of. So it centers around the lives of, not poet, not warriors, not women, about saints. Okay. So hagiography is basically a biography of saints or ecclesiastical leader, like very famous hagiographies like Golden Legend, the early Christian life, like Saint Augustine Confessions, the religions of apostles. These are the very famous hagiographies. Okay, so hagiography is basically what? It is a biography of a saint or a ecclesiastical leader. Ecclesiastical means someone who is very religious one and done his work in this field only. We'll go by the next question. Question number 32. Now, who wrote V.S. Naipaul's biography, The World is What It Is? Okay. So, the correct answer that we have is Patrick French. It is not by this writers. We'll go by the next question. Question number 33. Amitav Ghosh, the living mountain is an example of. So, it is an example of fable. Fable is what? Fable is like Danta Katha, where the animals are the characters. So, it is type of fable written by अमिताभ घोष. जस्ट लाइक एक माउंटेन है, एक माउंटेन पे बहुत सारे लोग रह रहे हैं, ओके, ट्राइबल्स, एंड हाउ दे बिकम सर्वेंट्स ऑफ दिस foreigners and how they all were forced, okay, to mine that mountain. Okay, so the correct answer that we have is C, fable. We'll go by the next question here. Question number 34. Now Samuel Pepys diary was written in. So diary, when it came in 17th century. Okay, the correct answer that we have is B, 17th century. We'll go by the next question. Question number 35. The story of my experiments with truth has how many sections? Okay, so we all know that an autobiography, okay, an autobiography or the story of my experiments with truth is written by whom? It is written by Mahatma Gandhi. And how many parts it has? How many sections? So it has 5 sections. Oh, it just like it begins with his birth and it ends in 1921. Earlier it was published as a collection of weekly essays that was published during that era, before independence era, in Navjeevan. Okay, Navjeevan, then it is collected in book form, and it talks about his whole life, Mahatma Gandhi's life, like it talks about his childhood life, okay, यंग एज में उन्होंने क्या किया, हिज ओन एक्सपेरिमेंट्स, लाइक ड्रिंक करते थे, लाइक स्मोक करते थे, स्टीलिंग, ईटिंग मीट, okay, his early marriage at the age of 13, okay, and his education, his career, and how he turned to Africa and how this change came in his life. So we'll go by the next question here. Question number 36. Hind Swaraj is written in. So we all know that this is also written by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Okay. Also called Indian Home Rule, Hind Swaraj. Indian Home Rule. Okay. Which year it came? 1908. First it came in Gujarati language and later translated in English. The correct answer that we have is Hind Swaraj is written in which mode? In dialogue mode. We'll go by the next question. Question number 37. The Fatwa incident is narrated by Rushdie in his which work? Okay. So the first Fatwa incident he has narrated in his work, The Satanic Verses. Okay. Now this work came in 1988, where what he did that he has described a Muslim saint as a not good one. Okay, having enjoying his physical things. Okay, and this is because of this work Rushdie has suffered from several assassination attempts, one major one, and major death threats. Okay, and this fatwa was issued. What is fatwa? Fatwa is basically to give an opinion. Okay, so this fatwa was issued from a supreme leader of Iran, Ruhollah Khomeini. Okay, I'll write here. Ruhollah Khomeini by him, and this was continued because by the next leader. Once कि एक बार फतवा इशू हो गया, अगर वो लीडर इफ़ ही डाइज तो वो कंटिन्यू नहीं होता, वो ख़त्म हो जाता है. बट दिस वॉज कंटिन्यूड बाय द नेक्स्ट लीडर ऑल्सो. ओके, दिस बुक वॉज बैन्ड इन 20 countries. So the fatwa incident that he has narrated in this work, The Satanic Verses by Rushdie. We'll go by the next question. Question number 38. Who states, nothing can bring you peace but yourself, nothing can bring you peace but the triumph of principles. So this said by Emerson, Ralph Waldo Emerson. Okay, as we know that he has written some major works like Nature, American Scholar, very famous one. Okay, also wrote Self-Reliance. Okay, so what he says that he explains like the ultimate form of happiness is achieved when a person learns and adapt an individualistic lifestyle that is based on his or her own values. Okay, that what he said. So the correct answer that we have is A, Emerson. We'll go by the next question. Question number 39. Neeraj C. Chaudhary's Passage to England has a section entitled. So Neeraj C. Chaudhary, very famous for his Passage to England. Okay, so this work, Passage to England, written in 1994, and this Neeraj C. Chaudhary, he has received Sahitya Academy Award for this in which year? In 1975. Okay. So this book has 4 parts. How many parts? 4 parts. This book has. Now this first section talks about geography, weather, surroundings, towns, cities, the countryside, all about this thing. Okay. Second part, it talks about people he encountered with. Okay. Third part talks about cultural life and fourth part it talks about politics. Okay, so correct answer that we have is the English people. Okay, we'll go by the next question. Question number 40. History of the Royal Society of London 1667 was written by whom? Okay, so this is written by Thomas Pratt. Okay, okay, so thank you for watching this video. We'll definitely go by the second and third part of it.